at the end. And then this is reviewed by the primary review committee. After it is received by after you return it to Building a Better Brockton, we let you know that we got it, and then it's reviewed by the primary review committee. And then they notify you whether the program fits in our guidelines or if it doesn't and it's denied. And then if you're approved, you receive the second application and Davis-Bacon guidelines. So why might you be denied for this program? If you are not an owner of property for which you've proposed improvements, if the property is not in Brockton, if it has a residential zoning or use, again, we're looking for commercial or industrial uses for these buildings. Mixed use is also okay, but purely residential is not the focus. Your project, if it doesn't have a minimum cost of $10,000, it might be denied. Depending on the project, some exceptions may be made, but that's on a case-by-case basis made by the review committee. If your project is completed or any work was done before your project was approved, it will not be accepted. And if the project proposes interior renovations, again, we're looking at the facades of the buildings. You're not going to notice an interior renovation so much as you are a new sign or a new paint job. So if you're approved, you're notified by Building a Better Brockton, and then they will send you your secondary application, and you're required to attain necessary documents, photos, estimates, as I started talking about before. And then you complete the second application and make sure you include all the attachments, return it to Building a Better Brockton. And then again, we'll let you know we got it, so you're not wondering, did they get it? Did it get lost in the mail? Has anyone looked at it? Did they forget me? Then your application is reviewed by the secondary review board, and again, you'll either be notified of approval, or at that point we could request more information if you left something out, or there's something that's unclear, or something that doesn't quite meet our guidelines. We can come back to you and say, you know, this doesn't quite match because of X, Y, and Z. Can you reconsider or resubmit your application, and we'll go from there. And then, oops, this is the secondary application, and again, zoomed in and filled out. Maybe my computer doesn't want to. There we go. So again, just a little bit of information so we remember who you are and how to contact you. And then the list of all of the attachments. If you can check them off when you submit it, that would be great, so that we know, so that you know that you included it, and we know that you included it. So I'll go through more in detail about what the different documents and attachments are. Things that you need to do by yourself are photographing the existing building and property and detailing the work that will be, the area where the work will be completed. And then your projected timeline for improvements, so so you want to start probably in the spring with your improvements, and you expect it to take some amount of time, just pretty generally what your thought is. And then include drawings and renderings of, or some kind of image of the improvement, so that we know what you're talking about in terms of how it's going to look afterwards. And that can be done by an architect or a contractor. If it's just a hand sketch, you know, that works too if you're good with drawing. Detailed description of work to be completed, again, so that we know what you're talking about, what the extent of the work is. And then a letter stating your ability to fund the project upfront, or your need for additional loans and grant funding, because the way that this loan program works is that it's a reimbursement program. So you do the work, you get the contractor to fill out all of his paperwork, you pay him, and then you give us your invoices and we pay you. So if you're going to need assistance in putting up that upfront costs, we need to know so that we can help you look for loans so that we can get this project going. We don't mean for it to be cost prohibitive, so we want to assist you as much as we can. So if we know this up front, we can get people on our review board to get working for you. And then from 2 contractors or architects, again, an estimate of the cost of improvements, the projected work schedule, and a plan drawing or rendering of the improvement if it's not completed by you. And then you need to go to the City of Brockton and get a receipt from your last water bill, tax bill, and a clean and current municipal loan certificate. And then a letter from each mortgage or loan lender and lien holder that says that you're in good standing with them, so that we know that you're up to date and we can just go forward from here. We don't need to look back and say, oops, there's this blip. Hopefully when you are approved, you'll be notified of what or if any permits are required, and then you can go to the city to get those permits and then let us know that that has been completed, and we will give you the loan paperwork, and then you can begin improvements. We need you to hire a certified contractor and to schedule necessary inspections if your permit requires the building inspector to come out, and someone from Building a Better Brockton needs to come out and just make sure that everything is going smoothly and that you're doing the work that you said you would, and that, you know, it creates a better rapport between us and you. It's not just, okay, we're going to hold out this carrot of money in front of you until the work is done. We want to work with you. We want to be able to talk about the good things that are happening in Brockton and to be able to tell people that, yes, we are going forward with it. So the loan terms: the recipient must own the improved property and be in good stead with the City of Brockton and have no code violations, and must be in good stead with all lien holders. The work must be completed according to all HUD, Building a Better Brockton, and City of Brockton code and regulations. The minimum loan amount that we'll be offering is $5,000. The maximum is $35,000. Again, there is some flexibility. If you have an anchor project or a project that is very prominent in the downtown, we can bring the project to our board and talk to them about, you know, if you need a greater or a lesser loan, can we work with you on that? There's no interest on the loan. It is distributed after invoices are submitted to Building a Better Brockton. So it's not like we give you the money and wait for you to get the work done. You show us that you can do the work, we give you the money back. And it's a matching program, so we'll pay up to 50%. And the loan repayment is a depreciating loan, which means that if you hold on to your building and you stay in good stead with your lien holders in the City of Brockton, your loan goes away. We say it's a loan because if you sell your building or you default on your taxes or something, we want the money back, or we get the money back. Just like any other loan, you get the money from a bank or whatever, and then you give the money back. But with this kind of loan, it's a hybrid between a loan and a grant, because after 5 years for the central business district and 10 years for any outlying businesses, if you maintain your building for that period of time, you don't owe us anything back on that loan. So it's yours, like a grant.